Hello and welcome back to the Expensive Coins History Channel, another deep dive episode dedicated to the fascinating world of numismatics. Today, we're uncovering the mystery, value, and history behind one of the most talked about coins from mid-20th century America, the 1966 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark. It may look like an ordinary 5-cent coin at first glance, but if you understand the historical context, recognize the rare variations, and know what to look for, this nickel could be worth far more than its face value. Whether you're a seasoned collector, a coin roll hunter, or just someone curious about the coins in your pocket change, you're in for a full, in-depth journey. By the end of this video, you'll know everything about the coin's origin, its production, why it lacks a mint mark, its variations, and what it could be worth in today's collector market as of 2025. Let's jump into this journey through American history, coin design, and collector demand. Starting with how the 1966 Jefferson nickel came to be. To understand the 1966 Jefferson nickel, we need to rewind to the 1960s. This was a transitional and turbulent time for the United States Mint. The coinage system was under intense pressure. A nationwide coin shortage had taken hold in the early to mid-1960s, which pushed the U.S. Mint to adopt emergency policies to curb the problem. One of the decisions made during this period was the removal of mint marks from coins between the years 1965 and 1967. This wasn't a design oversight or an error, it was a calculated move. The U.S. Mint believed that collectors were pulling too many coins from circulation, contributing to the shortage. By removing mint marks, the Mint hoped to reduce collecting interest in minor yearly variations and maintain a stable coin supply. This explains why the 1966 Jefferson nickel does not bear the usual D for Denver or S for San Francisco. Instead, all 1966 nickels, whether struck in Philadelphia or Denver, lack any mint mark. That single detail creates both a limitation and a mystery, because while we know the mintage numbers were high, we can't determine exactly where a specific no mint mark coin came from. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The 1966 version maintains the original design by artist Felix Schlag. On the obverse side, we see the left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. His profile is clean, dignified, and distinctively styled. Inscriptions include the word, "In God We Trust," to the left, "Liberty," to the right, followed by the date, 1966. Notably absent is the mint mark that typically appears near the right side of the portrait on coins from other years. On the reverse, we find an image of Jefferson's famous home, Monticello. The structure is elegantly rendered, showing classical architecture and balance. Above Monticello is the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum. Below are the words, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. The coin is made of a cupronickel alloy, 75% copper and 25% nickel, standard for nickels before and after the silver coin era. Its weight is 5 grams, with a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and a plain edge. Despite the absence of a mint mark, the 1966 Jefferson nickel was produced in extremely large numbers. Hundreds of millions of these coins were struck and released into general circulation. The majority of them were made at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, although all were distributed without any distinguishing mint marks. Because of this massive mintage, most 1966 nickels found today are in circulated condition, showing moderate to heavy wear, loss of luster, and contact marks from decades of use. However, condition makes all the difference. While average examples may not seem valuable, coins that have been carefully preserved, especially in higher mint state grades, can fetch a surprising premium. The rarity doesn't lie in the coin's production numbers but rather in its preservation and subtle die variations. When it comes to the 1966 Jefferson nickel, what sets apart a valuable coin from an ordinary one are a few key factors. First is condition. Coins that have remained in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, especially with sharp strike details and strong luster, are far more desirable. In grades of MS 65 and higher, these coins start to gain traction among collectors. Second is strike quality. Due to worn dies and the high-speed minting process of the time, many 1966 nickels have soft or weak strikes. A coin with a full, crisp image of Monticello, well-defined steps, and a sharp Jefferson portrait is relatively rare and worth noting. Third, and most exciting for collectors, are errors and anomalies. This includes double die obverse or reverses, off-center strikes, planchet errors, or coins struck on the wrong metal composition. Any such error could elevate a common coin into a category of high value and collectability. Let's move into the heart of today's topic, value. In 2025, the market for Jefferson nickels has matured. While not every coin in this series is extremely valuable, certain dates and grades, especially those tied to historical events or special minting quirks, have grown in demand. The 1966 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel falls into that category of historical intrigue, and here's how the values break down in today's market. A heavily circulated example, showing significant wear, is still only worth face value, 5 cents. A lightly circulated coin, in very fine to about uncirculated condition, may bring 10 to 50 cents, depending on I appeal. A mint state coin, particularly MS-60 to MS-63, can range from $1 to $5. MS-64 and MS-65 coins, which are higher-end uncirculated specimens, may command $5 to $25, especially if the coin exhibits a strong strike and original mint luster. At the top of the spectrum, MS-66 and MS-67 examples, which are exceedingly rare, could bring $50 to several $100s, particularly from collectors seeking registry-quality coins. If a known error or double die is present, even in mid-range condition, values can skyrocket into the hundreds or possibly more, depending on demand and visibility of the error. It's important to remember that coin grading is subjective and subtle details make a huge difference. A small change in luster or contact marks can drop a coin from MS-66 to MS-64, and that change could mean a difference of hundreds of dollars. So, what should you do if you come across a 1966 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel? Here are some tips. Examine the strike. Look at Jefferson's cheek and jawline, Monticello's steps, and the sharpness of the lettering. A weak or mushy strike is typical, but a strong strike is worth taking seriously. Assess the condition. Avoid polishing or cleaning the coin. Original surface quality, even with a bit of dirt, is always more valuable than an artificially shiny coin. Look for anomalies. Use a magnifying glass to search for doubling, die cracks, or other unusual features. Even subtle differences could indicate an error or variety. Consider professional grading. If you believe you have a high-grade example or a coin with a possible error, having it authenticated and graded by a reputable service can dramatically increase its market value. Stay informed. The coin market changes over time. As more collectors enter the hobby, demand can shift and values can rise unexpectedly. Even common coins can become valuable in the right conditions. The 1966 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark is a coin that captures a unique moment in American minting history. It tells the story of policy change, production pressure, and the ingenuity of the U.S. Mint. While millions were made, only a small percentage remain in top condition, and it is those few that continue to inspire collectors today. So the next time you're looking through your change or sorting through an old coin jar, take a closer look. That ordinary nickel might just be a hidden gem, waiting to be discovered. This is the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel, a coin that, while common in quantity, carries secrets that have elevated its value, rarity, and reputation among numismatists in recent years. Whether you found one in your pocket change, inherited a collection from a relative, or are simply intrigued by American coinage, you're about to discover why this 5-cent piece, minted in Philadelphia over 4 decades ago, has grown increasingly important in the eyes of collectors and investors in 2025. Fully appreciate the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel, we need to rewind and explore its origin. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the beloved Buffalo nickel. Designed by sculptor Felix Schlag, the new 5-cent coin was a tribute to Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and author of the Declaration of Independence. On the obverse, we see a left-facing portrait of Jefferson. On the reverse, the architectural image of Monticello, his famous Virginia estate, stands as a symbol of his legacy. For decades, this design remained almost entirely unchanged, becoming one of the most familiar coins in American currency. By the time we reached the early 1980s, the economic conditions in the United States were in transition. Inflation was high, metal costs were climbing, and the mint faced increasing pressure to produce coins efficiently and in large numbers. The year 1982 was notable for many denominations, with transitions in minting techniques, design refinements, and even composition experiments in other coin types. While the Jefferson nickel maintained its 75% copper and 25% nickel composition, the mint was pushing production to meet demand. This brings us to the Philadelphia Mint and its 1982 nickel production. That year, the Philadelphia facility struck over 150 million Jefferson nickels, bearing the P mint mark. On the surface, this sounds like a very high number, which it is. However, high mintage does not always mean low value. When we dig deeper into the condition of surviving coins, anomalies in production, and the grading behavior of modern collectors, we begin to uncover what makes certain 1982 P nickels so desirable. One key point that separates valuable coins from ordinary ones is condition. The majority of 1982 P Jefferson nickels entered circulation almost immediately, rattling through cash registers, vending machines, pockets, and purses for decades. This long journey left most examples scratched, worn, and dulled. Coins like these, in average circulated condition, hold little numismatic value, often just their face value of 5 cents. However, when collectors began searching for pristine, uncirculated examples, especially in the mid to late 1990s, a surprising challenge emerged. Truly high-grade 1982 P nickels, particularly those that had never been handled, were exceedingly difficult to find. Unlike modern coins, which are often saved in rolls or bags, very few people saw any reason to hoard nickels from this era. The result? A sharp divide between average condition 1982 P nickels, which are extremely common, and mint state coins, which are significantly rarer, especially in grades above MS 65. Even today in 2025, examples graded MS 66 or better are considered premium coins. Collectors seeking the highest quality specimens often compete for these coins in auctions and through dealers, pushing up their prices. In the world of coin collecting, grading is everything. A difference of just one grade on the Sheldon scale can mean the difference between a $5 coin and a $100 coin. For the 1982 P Jefferson nickel, the majority of uncirculated examples fall in the MS 60 to MS 63 range. These are attractive coins, but they're not particularly rare. They usually sell between $1 and $5, depending on eye appeal and luster. The real action begins at MS 65. At this level, a 1982 P nickel begins to show stronger strike quality, smoother fields, and sharper details. These coins can command prices in the range of $15 to $30, sometimes higher depending on demand. Once we enter the MS 66 territory, rarity becomes more apparent. A sharply struck, bright, and clean 1982 P nickel in MS 66 is a scarce find. These coins are known to sell for $50 or more and are often encapsulated by top grading companies for protection and verification. At MS 67 and above, we are in elite territory. Such coins are exceedingly rare and often represent the top percentile of known surviving examples. In today's market, these top-grade coins have been known to sell for hundreds of dollars, sometimes exceeding $500 when demand peaks or when the coin exhibits exceptional characteristics such as full steps on the Monticello, deep luster, or proof-like surfaces. Speaking of full steps, this is a particularly important designation for Jefferson nickels. The steps on the Monticello building on the reverse of the coin are often poorly struck. On high-quality examples, if all 6 steps are clearly visible without interruption, the coin may qualify for a full steps designation, adding a significant premium to its value. For the 1982 P issue, full steps examples are extremely rare. Most were weakly struck, or the dies were worn from heavy use. If you come across a 1982 P nickel with full steps in MS 66 or better, you could easily be holding a coin worth several $100s or more. As we move through 2025, the market continues to evolve. While attention often focuses on older coins, silver pieces, or erorr varieties, there's a growing appreciation for modern-era coins in high condition. The 1982 P. Jefferson nickel fits squarely in that category, a modern classic with a narrowing supply of quality survivors. Collectors today are not just looking for rarity in mintage. They're looking for rarity in condition. They're also chasing historical patterns, market momentum, and future investment potential. The 1982 P nickel represents a perfect storm of high mintage, low hoarding rates, weak strikes, and limited top-grade survivors. If you've got a handful of nickels from the 1980s lying around, it's time to take a closer look. Examine the 1982 P examples carefully. Check for signs of wear. Look at the Monticello steps. Evaluate the luster, color, and sharpness of the strike. And if you believe you've found a top-condition coin, consider having it professionally graded. A few dollars spent today could unlock a coin worth far more in the current collector market, and if you're buying, don't just go for quantity. Go for quality. High-grade 1982 P nickels will always have a place in modern Jefferson nickel sets, and demand for premium examples continues to climb. The 1984 Denver Mint issue. At first glance, this nickel might seem like just another 5-cent piece, but beneath its surface lies a story rich with history, minting intricacies, subtle rarities, and evolving market values that continue to captivate collectors in 2025. The Jefferson nickel made its debut in 1938 as a tribute to Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The coin features a dignified portrait of Jefferson on the obverse, designed to highlight his intellectual legacy and importance in American history. On the reverse, the image of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, symbolizes his lifelong connection to architecture, innovation, and tradition. By the time the 1984 D. Jefferson nickel was struck, this design had been a staple of American currency for nearly half a century. The nickel's composition and dimensions had been standardized for decades, but subtle variations in minting quality and production runs still offer a wealth of intrigue. In 1984, the Denver Mint produced approximately 517 million nickels bearing the D Mint mark. This staggering volume reflects the enormous demand for nickels in everyday circulation, yet it also presents an interesting dynamic for collectors. On one hand, such high numbers mean the coin is very common, easily found in pocket change, banks, and coin rolls. On the other hand, the sheer quantity invites scrutiny. Among millions, are there examples that stand out? The Denver Mint is renowned for producing some of the most consistent and high-quality circulation coins in the country, but even within mass production, small anomalies and gradations in coin quality occur naturally. These are the subtle variations that give rise to collectible niches and can add surprising value to certain specimens. The 1984 D. Jefferson nickel conforms to the classic specifications established long ago: a diameter of 21.2 mm, a thickness of 1.95 mm, and a weight of 5 grams. It's composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, an alloy chosen for durability and resistance to wear. One of the most fascinating aspects for collectors is not simply the basic physical parameters, but the condition of the finer details. The most prized feature is the clarity of the steps on Monticello. While all nickels bear this iconic image, not all nickels have sharp, well-defined steps. Those with a distinct set of fully visible steps, referred to as full steps, are prized and often command premiums. This feature requires a well-struck coin with minimal wear. Circulation naturally wears down these fine details over time, so finding a 1984 D nickel with full steps in pristine condition is a collector's delight. When discussing rarity, it's essential to understand coin grading. Coins are graded on a scale that ranges from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70. Most 1984 D nickels found in everyday change fall into circulated grades, often in the fine, F, to extremely fine, XF, range, where surface wear is clearly evident. In these common circulated states, the coin holds little monetary value beyond its 5-cent face value. However, coins that escape circulation damage, those graded mint state, can be worth significantly more. Mint state grades start at MS 60 and ascend to MS 70, the latter being a perfect coin without flaws. Among these grades, MS 63 through MS 66 are where the market shows the most interest. The presence of full steps and the coin's eye appeal, meaning its overall look and luster, play a vital role. A 1984 D nickel in MS 65 with full steps can be valued many times higher than a similar uncirculated coin without this feature. As of 2025, the market for the 1984 D Jefferson nickel reflects both its commonality and its collector appeal. Typical circulated examples are still essentially worth face value, as millions remain readily available. Even coins in lower uncirculated grades, like MS 60 or MS 61, usually command only a modest premium ranging from a couple of dollars to under $10. However, the landscape shifts dramatically as the grade improves and the presence of full steps is confirmed. Coins graded MS 64 with full steps typically fetch between $10 and $40, depending on their visual appeal and certification status. Move into MS 65 territory, and prices can escalate from $25 to upwards of $100 or more. At the very top end, exceptional specimens graded MS 66 with full details have been known to sell in the range of $150 to $200 or even beyond. These top-tier nickels represent a fraction of all 1984 D coins, highlighting their rarity and desirability. While the 1984 D nickel is not widely known for dramatic mint errors or rare varieties, it's worth noting that the coin collecting world often values mistakes. Minor doubling, off-center strikes, or other anomalies, if present and certified, can elevate a coin's value substantially. Such errors are uncommon in the 1984 D series but are not impossible. Serious collectors and investors should remain vigilant, as error coins tend to become prized curiosities that capture significant collector interest and market premiums. In the grand scheme of U.S. coinage, the 1984 D Jefferson nickel occupies a unique space. It represents a transitional moment, a mass-produced coin of the late 20th century that still offers opportunities for collectors to find high-quality examples with tangible value. It reminds us that even the most common coins have stories to tell and that rarity often lies in the details. For new collectors, it provides an accessible entry point to learn about grading, condition, and minting intricacies. For seasoned numismatists, it offers the thrill of discovering full-step specimens or those elusive uncirculated pieces that have survived nearly 4 decades in impeccable condition. If you own a 1984 D nickel or stumble upon one, here are some practical recommendations. First, examine the Monticello steps carefully. Are all the steps fully visible and sharply defined? If yes, your coin may be worth further investigation. Next, consider the coin's overall condition. Does it retain its original luster, or does it show signs of wear and circulation? If you believe you have a high-grade specimen, consider submitting it to a reputable grading service for authentication and grading. Finally, research recent sales of similar coins, focusing on grade and full steps designation, to gauge market value. In conclusion, the 1984 D Jefferson nickel is far more than a simple piece of pocket change. It is a testament to America's rich numismatic history, a challenge to collectors seeking quality and detail, and an asset whose value can range from mere cents to hundreds of dollars based on condition and rarity. As we move through 2025 and beyond, this coin continues to captivate collectors, reminding us that even the most ubiquitous currency can hide treasures waiting to be uncovered. The 1985 P. Jefferson nickel. Though it may seem like just a simple 5-cent piece, this coin has a rich story behind it, subtle characteristics that make it intriguing to collectors, and a market value that has evolved in fascinating ways. So if you're curious about the history, rarity, and current worth of the 1985 Philadelphia Mint Jefferson nickel, you've come to the right place. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, with a design meant to honor one of America's most revered presidents and founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson. The obverse features a profile portrait of Jefferson, while the reverse displays Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate. Over the decades, the design saw only subtle changes, maintaining its classic look that collectors and the public alike recognized. By 1985, the Jefferson nickel was firmly established as a staple in U.S. coinage. The Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the P Mint mark, was responsible for striking hundreds of millions of these coins that year. Unlike other years that had lower mintages or special varieties, 1985 was a high-production year, reflecting a time when the nickel was still a widely used and essential piece of everyday commerce. In 1985, the Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 559 million Jefferson nickels. This massive output means that, by sheer numbers, the 1985 P Jefferson nickel is one of the most commonly found nickels in circulation today. Walking down the street, you're very likely to encounter this coin in your change. Because of this large production, the 1985 P nickel is not considered rare. The overwhelming majority of these coins entered circulation and were used in everyday transactions for years, resulting in the familiar wear and tear seen on many examples. This commonality means that for the average collector, a typical circulated 1985 nickel will have little monetary value beyond its face value. The real story of value for the 1985 P nickel lies in its condition, or grade, and in some cases, its minting characteristics. Coin grading is the process by which experts assess the wear, luster, strike quality, and overall eye appeal of a coin. For Jefferson nickels, and 1985 in particular, condition is paramount. Most nickels in circulation show varying degrees of wear. These circulated coins, even if they look decent, generally hold no premium above 5 cents. However, uncirculated nickels, coins that show no signs of wear and retain their original mint luster, can be worth significantly more. Uncirculated coins are graded on a scale from mint state 60 to mint state 70, with MS 70 being a perfect coin. Most 1985 P nickels fall into the MS 60 to MS 66 range when found in uncirculated condition. Higher grade examples, especially those graded MS 67 or better, can command noteworthy premiums among collectors due to their scarcity and outstanding appearance. Although the 1985 P Jefferson nickel was not officially released as a proof coin, some business strike nickels from this year exhibit proof-like characteristics. Proof-like coins have fields, the flat background areas, that are highly reflective, almost mirror-like, resembling proof coins. Additionally, some examples show cameo contrast, where the raised design elements have a frosted look against the mirrored fields. These proof-like or cameo-like features can increase the coin's desirability and value because they are relatively rare and visually striking. Collectors prize these coins for their aesthetic appeal, and prices for such nickels can be much higher than regular business strikes. Another avenue where the 1985 P nickel's value can increase is through errors and varieties. Errors are unintentional minting mistakes that occurred during production. These can include double dies, die cracks, off-center strikes, or other unusual characteristics. While error coins from 1985 are not common, when they do surface, they attract attention from specialized collectors. The rarity of a particular error combined with its visual impact can push a coin's value significantly beyond that of a standard specimen. For some errors, prices can reach into the hundreds of dollars or more. As of 2025, the market for 1985 P Jefferson nickels reflects both its widespread availability and the interest in higher grade or special examples. Circulated 1985 P nickels typically hold face value, or around 5 cents, occasionally a bit more if sold in bulk or to collectors just starting out. Lower uncirculated grades, such as MS 60 to MS 63, usually sell between 20 cents and $1 depending on demand and eye appeal. Coins in the MS 64 to MS 66 range can fetch anywhere from $1.50 up to $5 or more, especially if they have strong luster and a sharp strike. Premium uncirculated specimens graded MS 67 or higher can command prices from $10 up to $50, and in rare instances, even more if the coin displays exceptional qualities or proof-like surfaces. Proof-like nickels, due to their mirror-like finish and cameo contrast, often sell for $20 to over $100 depending on their appearance and condition. Error coins or varieties, especially notable die cracks or double dies, can attract collectors willing to pay several $100s or more, depending on the specific error and its rarity. If you have a 1985 P Jefferson nickel and want to determine if it's worth more than face value, start by examining it closely. Look at the coin surface under good lighting. Does it retain original luster? Are the details, like Jefferson's hair, cheekbones, and Monticello's windows and columns, sharp and well-defined? The less wear and the more shine, the higher the grade and potential value. Check for mirror-like reflections in the fields, these indicate proof-like qualities. Look for any unusual marks or doubling on the letters or numbers which might signal a mint error. If you believe your coin is high grade or has error features, consider having it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service. A certified grade often increases buyer confidence and market value. Even though the 1985 Jefferson nickel is not rare in the traditional sense, it remains an important piece in the story of U.S. coinage. It represents a moment in time when the nickel was widely used and carries the image of one of the nation's most influential leaders. For collectors, the challenge is to find those higher grade or special examples that elevate the coin beyond commonality. It also serves as a wonderful entry point for new collectors learning about grading, coin condition, and the nuances of numismatics. And who knows? Among the millions minted, your coin could be one of those special specimens that quietly holds more value than anyone expects. The 1999 D. Jefferson nickel. Today, we will take an in-depth look at the history of this particular coin, its production background, what makes it unique or common, how its rarity is perceived in the collector world, and finally, what it is truly worth in the current market of 2025. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of United States coinage since its introduction in 1938, replacing the long-running Buffalo nickel. Featuring the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his iconic home, Monticello, on the reverse, the nickel series has become a favorite for collectors and everyday users alike. The 1999 D. Jefferson nickel, minted in Denver, represents one of the final years before the turn of the millennium and is a coin that many collectors seek for various reasons, from its place in the timeline to its specific minting characteristics. In 1999, the United States Mint was producing vast quantities of nickels, with the Denver Mint responsible for striking a significant portion of the year's total. The D Mint mark, located just right of the Monticello on the reverse, identifies the coin as originating from Denver. The mintage that year was substantial, exceeding 500 million coins, making the 1999 D one of the more common nickels by sheer numbers. However, quantity does not always equate to lack of interest. The late 1990s was a period when coin collecting was experiencing a resurgence, with both casual hobbyists and serious numismatists looking back at coins from the 20th century for variety, condition, and subtle errors. The 1999 D nickel is a reflection of that era's mint production standards and economic demand for coinage. The design itself was consistent with the Jefferson nickel series used from 1938 through 2003. On the front, you see the left-facing bust of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, an enduring symbol of American ideals. The word "Liberty" is inscribed near the edge, accompanied by the date, 1999. The reverse side proudly displays Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, framed by the words, E pluribus unum, United States of America, and 5 cents. The small but significant D Mint mark signifies its origin from the Denver Mint. What collectors often look for, beyond the obvious, are subtleties in the strike quality, the clarity of the mint mark, and the preservation of detail in Monticello's architectural lines and Jefferson's facial features. Given the mintage exceeding 570 million coins, the 1999 D. Jefferson nickel is not a rarity in the traditional sense. It was produced in mass quantities and circulated widely throughout the United States. Unlike certain coins with documented die errors, misstrikes, or limited release runs, the 1999 D does not possess significant error varieties that drive up its rarity or value drastically. However, rarity in coin collecting is not merely about numbers minted. Condition, provenance, and survival rates all play a critical role. Many nickels, particularly from the late 20th century, were heavily circulated, showing wear, scratches, and surface damage. Coins that have survived in mint state condition, especially those that have never been touched by human hands after minting, become far more desirable. These coins are often found in rolls or sets that collectors or banks preserve shortly after production. Furthermore, within any large mintage, there exist coins that may have been struck with slightly heavier or lighter planchets, subtle variations in the mint mark's shape or placement, or slight differences in the sharpness of design elements due to the dies used. While none of these variations in the 1999 Jefferson nickel have created major market waves, they add layers of interest for more advanced collectors. The cornerstone of numismatic value, especially in coins minted in high volumes, is condition or grade. Coins are evaluated on a scale from heavily worn to pristine mint state. Circulated 1999 nickels, which are common, typically hold nominal value, often only slightly above face value, perhaps a few cents or dollars to the casual seller. When we move into uncirculated territory, coins that exhibit no signs of wear and retain their original mint luster, the value starts to increase. Professional grading companies assign numeric grades, with higher numbers indicating superior preservation, and I appealed. A 1999 nickel graded MS60, mint state 60, represents the baseline of uncirculated coins, with minor imperfections but no signs of circulation. At this grade, the coin holds modest premium over face value. As grades increase to MS63 or MS65, the coin's surface becomes smoother and more attractive, with fewer marks and sharper details, driving its price higher. Exceptional examples graded MS67 or above are exceedingly rare for modern nickels and command collector attention. Such coins often sell for multiples of typical market prices, sometimes reaching $50 or more depending on demand and availability. The market for Jefferson nickels, and specifically the 1999 remains steady in 2025. Demand is driven largely by new generations of collectors who appreciate the simplicity and historical significance of this iconic coin. While it is not one of the blockbuster rarities, the 1999 nickel in high-grade condition consistently performs well in online marketplaces and auctions. For everyday circulated examples, prices remain modest, often hovering just above the coin's face value due to nickel metal content and collector interest. For well-preserved, certified specimens, values range anywhere from $10 in lower mint state grades to $30 or $40 for very high-grade coins, and beyond for the rare flawless specimens. Additionally, economic factors such as metal prices, collector trends, and mint releases influence prices. The 1999 nickel, with its stable design and recognized status, often serves as a benchmark for evaluating the health of the nickel collecting market. While it may not be a rare date, the 1999 nickel is appreciated for several reasons. First, it marks the final years of the Jefferson nickel design before the series underwent a redesign in 2004. Collectors who specialize in Jefferson nickels often seek complete date and mint mark sets, making the 1999 an essential piece. Second, the quality of preserved specimens offers a window into the mint's manufacturing process at the close of the 20th century. Examining the coin's strike, luster, and metal composition gives insight into production standards and material choices of that era. Third, for newer collectors, the 1999 nickel is an affordable entry point into the hobby, offering historical significance without high acquisition costs. For those who appreciate subtle numismatic details, this coin also provides opportunities to study die variations and grading nuances. If you own a 1999 Jefferson nickel, understanding its value begins with assessing its condition. Whether you are a casual holder or a serious collector, having your coin professionally graded can provide clarity and maximize its potential worth. For sellers, knowing the market and timing your sale to align with collector interest can make a significant difference. Coins graded in the mid to high mint state range typically garner the most attention and value. For collectors, seeking out coins in the best possible condition, preferably certified by reputable grading services, will ensure that your investment retains or grows in value over time. Keeping coins properly stored, away from humidity and handling, preserves their beauty and market appeal. The 1999 Jefferson nickel, while often overlooked due to its large mintage, holds a quiet importance in the story of American coinage. It represents a moment in time, a link in the chain of the nation's monetary history, and an accessible treasure for collectors today. The 2000 Jefferson nickel, a seemingly ordinary coin that holds a surprising place in the world of numismatics. Today, we're going to uncover everything you need to know about this 5-cent piece, its historical background, production details, rarity factors, grading nuances, current market value as of 2025, and what makes it a piece worth considering for your collection. The Jefferson nickel, introduced in 1938, replaced the Buffalo nickel and quickly became a beloved staple in American coinage. Its design honors Thomas Jefferson, the nation's third president and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The obverse features Jefferson's distinguished profile, while the reverse showcases Monticello, his iconic Virginia home. The 2000p Jefferson nickel belongs to a long line of coins minted in Philadelphia, the nation's oldest mint. Over decades, this coin has served as a daily medium of exchange for millions, quietly circulating from pockets to cash registers, often overlooked but never forgotten. The turn of the millennium saw the Philadelphia Mint producing an immense number of Jefferson nickels. In 2000 alone, the Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of these coins, continuing the tradition of steady, large-scale production. The P Mint mark, prominently displayed on the coin, identifies the Philadelphia origin. Although Philadelphia did not always use a mint mark on nickels for much of the 20th century, the year 2000 is well into the era where mint marks are standard. This ensures collectors can distinguish between Philadelphia's output and other mints, such as Denver or San Francisco. This high-volume mintage places the 2000p nickel firmly in the category of common circulation coins. Yet, within this vast number, certain examples stand apart due to condition and preservation. The Jefferson nickel's design in 2000 retains the classic motifs established decades earlier. Thomas Jefferson's profile on the front is detailed and dignified, while the reverse's Monticello illustration continues to captivate. While the 2000p Jefferson nickel is not typically known for major die varieties or doubling errors, collectors remain vigilant. Subtle differences, such as slight doubling, minting anomalies, or variations in strike quality, can sometimes surface, though these are rare and often require expert examination to identify. Because the design has remained consistent, the key collector focus shifts to the coin's condition rather than design rarity. When assessing the value and appeal of the 2000p Jefferson nickel, condition is everything. Most coins minted in large quantities tend to show wear from years of circulation, diminishing their numismatic value beyond face value. These circulated nickels often bear surface scratches, flattened details, and dulling of the original mint luster. However, uncirculated examples, those that have never entered everyday use, are prized. Coins graded in the mint state range, especially those with grades of MS60 and above, display pristine surfaces, sharp details, and a vibrant sheen. Within this mint state spectrum, coins achieving MS63, MS64, and MS65 grades stand out. They are rarer, and their impeccable preservation can command significant premiums on the collector market. Grading is typically performed by professional organizations, whose rigorous standards and certifications provide buyers and sellers with confidence and clarity. In raw numbers, the 2000p Jefferson nickel is not rare. Its massive production volume means millions exist. However, rarity in coin collecting is about more than just numbers. It's about survival. How many coins remain today in uncirculated condition? The answer is far fewer than those that have worn away through everyday use. Consequently, a top-grade 2000p Jefferson nickel is much scarcer than its common counterparts. The rarity of mint state coins, especially those with flawless eye appeal and full details, elevates their desirability. Collectors who specialize in Jefferson nickels look for these gems, knowing they represent a small fraction of the total minted. The market value of the 2000p Jefferson nickel in 2025 reflects this balance between abundance and condition scarcity. Circulated examples, most trade at or near face value. For everyday purchases and pocket change, this nickel is worth 5 cents, sometimes marginally more if the coin has notably attractive surfaces or minimal wear. Lower uncirculated grades, MS60 to MS62. These coins typically command prices ranging from a few dollars up to around $10, depending on the dealer or auction. Higher uncirculated grades, MS63 to MS65. At this level, prices can increase significantly. A coin graded MS65 or better might sell for $20 or more, especially if it has a pleasing luster and sharp strike. The combination of professional grading and superior eye appeal is a powerful driver of value. Exceptional specimens, occasionally, a 2000p Jefferson nickel with exceptional qualities, such as a brilliant proof-like finish or a rare mint error, can bring even higher prices. Such coins are highly sought after by advanced collectors. If you're considering adding the 2000p Jefferson nickel to your collection or portfolio, here are some helpful guidelines. Always examine the coin carefully. Look for sharp details on Jefferson's portrait, the Monticello building, and check for original mint luster. Use magnification and good lighting to spot minor scratches or contact marks that affect grade. Consider professional third-party grading if you believe your coin is uncirculated or above average. This certification protects your investment and can enhance resale value. Shop from reputable dealers or trusted auction platforms to avoid counterfeit or altered coins. Remember that for most circulated coins, the value rarely exceeds face value, so focus on condition to determine true worth. This coin may not be the rarest or most expensive nickel in existence, but it carries significance. It represents a moment in history when the United States was stepping into a new millennium, maintaining tradition while facing the future. For collectors, it offers an attainable entry point into Jefferson nickel collecting. It's a coin that rewards patience and sharp eyes. Finding a high-grade example can be a small treasure. Moreover, it's a tangible connection to America's heritage, its presidents, and the artistry of coin design that has endured for nearly a century. In conclusion, the 2000p Jefferson nickel is a fascinating blend of common origin and collectible potential. While millions exist, only a select few survive in the condition that truly excites collectors and commands value in today's market. As of 2025, this humble nickel remains accessible yet intriguing, a coin that invites both beginners and seasoned numismatists to explore its story and appreciate its quiet beauty. If you're passionate about coins, this piece is a rewarding addition that offers lessons in history, preservation, and the dynamics of value. The 2002 D. Jefferson nickel. This coin may seem common at first glance, but beneath its everyday appearance lies a story of minting history, subtle varieties, and surprising collector interest. Whether you're a beginner looking to understand coin values or a seasoned collector seeking insight into this particular year and mint mark, this video will provide a comprehensive look at everything you need to know about the 2002 D nickel, its origins, rarity, and current market value as of 2025. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American coinage since it was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Featuring the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, on the obverse, and his iconic Monticello home on the reverse, this coin quickly became one of the most recognizable and circulated denominations. In 2002, the United States Mint struck an enormous number of nickels, with the Denver Mint producing hundreds of millions of these coins. The D mint mark, stamped on the coin to indicate its Denver origin, identifies coins produced at that particular facility. While the volume of production was incredibly high, the 2002 D nickel remains a key year for collectors because of specific details that separate the ordinary from the exceptional. Mint marks are small letters stamped on coins to denote the mint where the coin was struck. For the Jefferson nickel, the D stands for Denver. This mint is one of the largest and most prolific producers of circulating coins in the United States. Because the Denver Mint produced so many 2002 nickels, these coins are generally considered common in circulation. However, not all 2002 D nickels are created equal. Variations in striking quality, condition, and special attributes like full steps can create significant differences in rarity and value. Even within a single year and mint mark, collectors have found varieties and errors that elevate some coins from everyday pocket change to sought-after collectibles. One of the most famous collector distinctions for Jefferson nickels is the full steps designation. This refers to how completely the steps on the Monticello building on the reverse of the coin are struck. When all 6 steps are sharply and fully visible, the coin is considered a full steps variety, which is much rarer than those with weakly struck or incomplete steps. Another factor that can influence rarity and value is the coin's condition. Like all coins, the state of preservation matters greatly, whether a coin has been heavily circulated, showing wear and tear, or whether it's an uncirculated, pristine specimen straight from the mint. Collectors also look for minting errors or anomalies, which can range from slight off-center strikes, double dies, or die cracks to more dramatic defects. Such errors are fascinating to collectors because they are unique moments of imperfection created during the minting process. The 2002 D. Jefferson nickel is considered common in general circulation due to the massive number minted. However, the combination of factors such as high-grade condition, full steps designation, and presence of mint errors can create collectible rarities. Most 2002D nickels found in circulation are heavily worn and worth only their face value. But when collectors find a coin that shows strong detail in the steps or comes from an uncirculated roll, its value can increase significantly. The rarity of full steps 2002D nickels, especially in mint state grades, attracts collectors because these coins are far less common than their mass-produced counterparts. Similarly, nickels exhibiting mint errors can be particularly valuable, depending on the type and severity of the error. Circulated coins show wear and usually retain just face value, or slightly above for neat examples. Uncirculated coins, often graded MS60 to MS65, have never been in circulation and retain sharp details. These can be worth several times face value. Higher grades, such as MS66 or MS67 and above, can command significant premiums, especially if combined with the full steps variety. In 2025, collectors are paying particular attention to coins that combine these factors because they represent the best examples of the 2002D nickel. Common circulated examples. These are generally worth face value or up to a few cents above. They're abundant and easy to find. Uncirculated coins in average mint state grades, MS60, MS63. These may range from roughly 50 cents to a couple of dollars in online marketplaces and coin shops. Full steps varieties in MS64 or higher grades. These can reach prices from $10 to $100 or more, depending on the sharpness of the steps and overall coin appeal. High-grade full steps coins, MS66 and above, these are the true rarities and can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Mint errors and varieties. Depending on the nature of the error, values can range from $20 to over $1,000 for the most dramatic and well-preserved examples. It's important to note that coin prices fluctuate based on demand, overall market conditions, and collector interest. The 2002D Jefferson nickel holds steady as a popular piece due to its combination of accessibility and potential rarity within specific subtypes. The 2002D Jefferson nickel offers a perfect blend of accessibility and hidden potential. For casual collectors, it's a coin they likely already have in their pocket or coin roll, making it an easy addition to a Jefferson nickel collection or a chance to learn more about coin grading and minting details. For serious collectors, the 2002D presents opportunities to find rare varieties like full steps and mint errors that can substantially increase the coin's value. The mint's prolific production also means there are many examples available to compare and study, which makes hunting for the best specimens an exciting challenge. The coin's popularity is sustained by its iconic design, its role in everyday American commerce, and the continuing interest in mint errors and varieties among numismatists. Look at the reverse side of the coin, focusing on the steps of Monticello. Are all 6 steps fully visible and sharply defined? If so, you may have a full steps variety. Check the overall condition. A coin that still shines with original mint luster and no signs of wear is more likely to be valuable. Inspect for errors. Look for signs of doubling in the letters or numbers, misaligned strikes, or off-center images. Even small errors can increase the coin's worth. Use a magnifying glass or loupe for detailed inspection. Compare with known full steps examples online or in coin guides to help verify the variety. If you find a coin that appears exceptional, consider having it professionally graded. A reputable grading service will authenticate the coin's condition and verify any varieties or errors, providing a certificate that often increases the coin's market value. To wrap things up, the 2002D Jefferson nickel may seem like a common coin, but it holds an enduring place in American numismatics. Its high mintage ensures availability for collectors at all levels, while subtle varieties and high-grade specimens create pockets of rarity and value. As of 2025, this coin offers both an accessible entry point for beginners and a rewarding treasure hunt for advanced collectors. Whether you're hunting for a full steps nickel, a mint error, or simply looking to build a complete Jefferson nickel set, the 2002D continues to be a coin worth your attention. Remember, every coin tells a story, and the 2002D nickel's story is one of both mass production and individual uniqueness. So next time you come across a nickel, take a closer look. You might just have a valuable piece in your hand. The 2004 P Mint Mark Jefferson nickel. This coin is a fascinating specimen with a unique story, blending history, minting anomalies, and collector appeal in ways that continue to captivate enthusiasts around the world. Today, we're diving deeply into the origins of this coin, its design, rarity, and the factors that influence its current market value as of 2025. Whether you're a seasoned collector, a beginner numismatist, or simply curious about what makes certain coins valuable, this video will give you a comprehensive understanding of this piece of American coinage. To truly appreciate the 2004 P Mint Mark nickel, we must first understand the long and storied history of the Jefferson nickel itself. Introduced in 1938, the Jefferson nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel, which had been in circulation since 1913. The new design honored Thomas Jefferson, America's third president and author of the Declaration of Independence. The obverse of the coin prominently features Jefferson's left-facing portrait, sculpted in a style that has evolved over the decades but has remained relatively consistent since its introduction. The reverse traditionally depicts Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia estate, a design that symbolically connects the coin to American heritage and Jefferson's enduring legacy. Over the years, the Jefferson nickel has seen several design changes and special commemorative issues. The year 2004 is especially notable as it fell within the U.S. Mint's Westward Journey series, celebrating the bicentennial of the Louisiana Purchase and the Lewis and Clark Expedition. This series briefly replaced the Monticello design with several commemorative motifs before returning to the classic Monticello reverse in 2005. One of the most captivating aspects of the 2004 Jefferson nickel is the presence of the P mint mark. Traditionally, Philadelphia minted nickels were struck without a mint mark until 1980, when the mint began adding the P to all nickels to distinguish their origin. However, the 2004 P mint mark nickel is an anomaly. It was not officially designated to carry a P mint mark in general circulation that year, making these coins a fascinating point of interest. The P mint mark was primarily found on proof sets and collectors' products, but some business strike nickels with the P mark were inadvertently released into circulation or produced in limited quantities. This limited production and somewhat unexpected mint marking contribute significantly to the coin's rarity and desirability. Collectors highly prize these 2004 P nickels because they represent a unique moment in U.S. mint history, a brief departure from tradition that created an interesting collectible. Examining the 2004 P mint mark nickel reveals classic Jefferson nickel features paired with subtle differences. The coin is composed primarily of a copper nickel clad, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core, giving it its characteristic weight and appearance. The obverse shows Jefferson's left profile, his hair tied with a ribbon, framed by the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year, 2004. The reverse, distinct for the P mint mark placed just above Monticello, displays Jefferson's home with crisp architectural detail, including the columns, dome, and windows. The placement of the P is subtle, often requiring magnification to spot, which sometimes leads casual collectors or the public to overlook these coins. This hidden mint mark enhances their intrigue, making the discovery of a 2004 P nickel a mini treasure hunt for many. The rarity of the 2004 P mint mark Jefferson nickel can be attributed to its limited production and release patterns. Unlike other nickels minted at Philadelphia in prior and subsequent years, very few 2004 business strike nickels were officially marked with the P. The majority of Philadelphia mint nickels that year carried no mint mark. Some of the P mint mark nickels were distributed through proof and mint sets targeted at collectors, but a notable quantity leaked into circulation, whether through error, oversight, or deliberate release. This accidental circulation makes them more accessible than some ultra-rare coins, yet rare enough to maintain a premium over standard 2004 nickels. As with all coins, the condition or grade of the 2004 P Jefferson nickel dramatically impacts its market value. Grading ranges from heavily worn circulated coins to pristine uncirculated specimens, often graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. Lower grades, G to VF. These coins show noticeable wear, some flattening of design details, and muted luster. Even so, because of their mint mark rarity, these coins command modest premiums, generally trading for a few dollars above face value. Mid-grades, XF to AU coins with light wear, sharper details, and partial to full luster are more appealing to collectors and usually fetch higher prices. These examples often sell in the $10 to $25 range, depending on appeal and exact grading, mint state, MS, grades, uncirculated coins that display full original luster, sharp strike, and nowhere are the holy grail for collectors. The 2004 P nickels graded MS63 or better can command significant premiums, often ranging from $50 to over $100, with top-tier examples reaching even higher values due to collector demand. Collectors often seek coins graded and authenticated by professional services to ensure quality and avoid counterfeit or altered pieces, particularly at higher price points. Moving into 2025, the 2004 P Mint Mark Jefferson nickel continues to attract steady collector interest. Its appeal lies in the balance between accessibility and rarity, making it a sought-after addition for both new collectors and veterans alike. Current market trends indicate that while circulated examples hold consistent value, the most significant growth and collector focus are on high-grade, certified coins. Demand for these coins is influenced by the broader interest in modern U.S. mint errors and anomalies, as well as the sustained popularity of Jefferson nickels as a collecting series. Investors and collectors looking to add value to their portfolios should focus on coins that combine the P Mint mark with superior condition. As awareness grows, prices for these premium coins are expected to appreciate modestly but steadily. If you are considering collecting or selling a 2004 P Mint Mark Jefferson nickel, keep the following advice in mind. Always carefully inspect the reverse side for the small P Mint mark above Monticello. It can be easy to miss without proper lighting or magnification. Understand the grading scale and try to assess the coin's condition objectively, or seek professional grading for the highest value. For sellers, research recent auction prices or dealer-buy offers to gauge the current market and avoid undervaluing your coin. For buyers, seek reputable dealers or certified coins to ensure authenticity. Particularly with coins that command premium prices, maintain proper storage and handling to preserve condition, especially if you plan to hold your coins long-term. The 2004 P Mint Mark Jefferson nickel stands as a subtle yet captivating chapter in modern American coinage. Its blend of historical significance, design appeal, and minting rarity makes it an exciting coin for collectors across the spectrum. Whether you discover one by chance in your pocket change or acquire one as part of a deliberate collection, understanding its background and market value enriches the experience and appreciation of this unique numismatic treasure. Thank you for joining us on this detailed journey through the story of the 2004 P. Jefferson nickel. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Happy collecting!